Do you ever have a dumb moment? You know, when you're talking to somebody and they ask you something real estate related, or there's an objection that comes up and you're not quite sure how to handle it in the moment. If that has ever been you, well, Bestie, first of all, you are not alone. And that is why this episode is going to be the one you want to pay close attention to. We are sharing with you behind the scenes of 2 role play calls that I did. And I'm telling you, both of these calls are gold and they are going to help you. Now, in the first call, the besties are following up on a scenario like, have you ever had anyone that just ghosted you? And when they finally pick up the phone, how are you going to solidify yourself as a resource for them without sounding salesy? My girl Crystalline's going to do a really good job, and I give her some feedback to help her moving forward with her calls. And then we're going to talk about how to follow up with an open house lead. Now, I know you are out here, either you're scared to do open houses or you're doing it and your follow-up is not as consistent as it could be. In that pretend call, we're going to talk through how to provide resources to your leads when you're following up with open houses. I guarantee there will be some nuggets that you will be able to take away and apply in your businesses right away. And hey, why am I sharing with you all this role play and all the things that we have going on right now? Because Bestie, if you are listening to this episode, we are midway through the year, and this is the time to actually ramp it up. Ramp up the way you're having conversations, ramp up what you're doing to actually convert, and really get some traction in your business to see the numbers that you want to see before the year ends. And if you're looking to go a little bit deeper, well, actually right now, Bestie Bootcamp is open. We start the bootcamp on June 2nd, 2025. So when you're listening to this and you're listening to how the besties are supporting each other and how I'm coaching them through these calls, and you want to just get a sneak peek and get inside of our 5-week boot camp, then either where you're watching this episode, listening to the episode, you can click the link or go to rosemarylewis.com/bootcamp so that you can reserve your seat. But now, check out the episode. Tell me the scenario. Tell me who you will be calling and what's going on with them.
Silent buyer. She reached out to me on Instagram 2 years ago, said she wanted to buy, invited her to a home buying seminar, and been checking in, nurturing. Silence. I have been followed up with her today. Silence. It's just been
Okay.
silence.
So do you want to role play the scenario of her actually answering the phone?
Yes. Because I'm
Okay.
sure she's going to call me back or text me back.
Okay. So tell me a little context. What do you know about it? Does she have kids? Is she in an apartment? What is she a teacher? Give me a little bit more context.
In an apartment. I know they suffered financially due to COVID. She has kids. Kids are in middle school just like mine. Yeah, that's about it. I know
Married?
at one point they did have like some debt that they needed to take care of, but that was about 2, 3 years ago.
Okay. Okay. So you're following up with her. Got it. And what
Mhm.
personality type do you think she is?
I would say a C and a S. She doesn't have any D in her. I can't tell any D.
Okay, so let me give y'all some context of what a C and a S is. Y'all gonna learn this in coaching, but I need to give you context. C is analytical. They're analytical. They need all of the information to make the best decision. And a S is somebody who wants to make the right decision. Right? No, you choose. Like they're so nervous. They're slower to make a decision. They don't want to disappoint you, and they will make a decision, but they have to just feel very confident and probably check with 18 different people, and their knowing has to be right, and then they go get under contract and then probably cancel it because they had a dream that like all of these different things, so a little bit more delicate to work with. All right, so that'll be her. And then, so do you want to be the realtor, Chris?
That's fine.
Okay, who is a real life S? Who would like to be the agent? Tempest, can you are you in a place where you can role play?
Yeah.
Okay, so Crystalline has called you. This is what we're gonna do. Crystalline has called you. You know you ain't heard from her, and you feel bad that you ain't talked to her in a while. So you are calling her back because you saw you missed her call, and you've been ghosting her a little bit about this whole home buying thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're all gonna come off video. We're all gonna mute. They're gonna go for it.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hey Tempest, it's Crystalline. How you doing today?
Hey, Crystalline. How you doing? I've been meaning to call you back.
Yeah, Yeah, I understand life gets busy. How's the family been? How's the hubby?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing real good. How's your family?
They're doing really good. They're doing really good. My reason for calling is, I wanted to check in with you and just see how things were going. I know last time we spoke a few years ago, you and your husband had shared you were looking to potentially purchase a home. And, I just want to let you know, like, this market has definitely changed since last time we spoke. And it's definitely working in the favor of buyers. Has home ownership still been a goal for you all?
Well, Crystal, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, it's still a goal, but we do have a lot of things going on right now before we can kind of tackle that goal. I don't know if you know, but I'm expecting and we just got a lot going on.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. But we just have a lot going on and trying to put things into perspective and just trying to get things ready. And I don't think that we can tackle that right now. It's just a lot of things that need to happen before we can get to that point.
Okay, okay. I hear what you're saying. So the current place that you all rent, is it gonna be enough space for you and the kids and the new baby?
Well, baby will be with us in the room for at least, 6 months or so. So, I'm not too much worried about, a third bedroom right now. But I mean, we are still planning on purchasing, but it's just with me being so close and
Mhm.
all of that moving and all of that stuff, it's just not gonna be ideal for us right now. It's just a lot that we gotta deal with first before we can tackle all of that other stuff, girl.
Mhm. Yeah, I get that. Well, I know in the past you had spoken to a lender. Would you be open just to, having that financial conversation? Not for now, but just so you all know what you need to do to prepare for when you are ready for home ownership. Would you be open to having that discussion with a lender? I just want to make sure you're set up for success once you're ready.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that, Crystal. And I'm still in contact with the lender that you sent us to before. And we did get pre-approved before. All we have to do is kind of just, contact her for her to repull and all of that. Nothing has really changed that much. So when we're ready to do that, we'll definitely contact the person that you sent us to last time because we are comfortable talking with her. It's just a lot going on.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I hear you kept saying there's a lot going on. Is there, other than, this, is there anything else that I could do to support you and your family?
I'm having another boy, and my other boy, he's in school, but it's just, it's a lot with pregnancy. I know you didn't have kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so just trying to navigate that and trying to work too and trying to make sure the family good and all of that stuff. So just that's what I mean when I say it's a lot going on. It's a lot I'm juggling.
Okay, okay. Well, I hear that and I understand that. So,
Let's stop there.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Chris, give yourself feedback.
I'm not pushy, so I didn't really push. I kind of stopped it. um, but I just kept trying to get more information from her. She kept saying, it's a lot going on, it's a lot going on, it's a lot going on. I was trying to get more information from her.
So what did you do well?
I did well with saying, well, would you be open to talking to a lender so we can get a game plan, kind of putting that bug in her ear so she knows, okay, that would be the next step to see where she needs to be.
Good job. Temp, how was that? How did that feel for you?
I think that Crystalline did well with matching my tone. I normally talk a little slow. So I think she did well with matching my tone. She did try to hear me out. And I think you could have pushed a little bit more. You
Okay.
could have, asked more, especially when I said, I'm having a baby. We could have probably talked about the baby a little more, kind of made me feel comfortable with opening
Mm-hmm.
up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that you throwed in the lender conversation. I think that was the timing was pretty well on that. So you could get some type of appointment inside the call. So I do
Mm-hmm.
like that. I just wish you had kind of pushed a little bit more with the rapport piece.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else have feedback? They can handle it. These two.
I think Crystalline really showed that she cared about Tempest as the person. When she said, is there anything else I can do to support your family? Like, obviously, she's been reaching out to this client or prospect for some time, trying to get her to take the next steps on home ownership. But when she realized what was going on, I really liked that she said, "Oh, okay, that's great. You're having a baby. Is there anything else that I can do for you?" So it didn't feel so much like I'm trying to get you to buy this house call, even though it was, right? I'm trying to see where you are, but I care about you as a person too, or what's going on in your life.
Okay, I like that.
What I found amazing was, and it might be because I'm new, but I felt like she was very persistent. You know what I mean? It was just like the objections were coming, and it was like, okay, but we gonna keep going. We gonna keep going through this. So I really saw that, and I was like, oh wow, versus being like, okay, all right, girl, well, I'll just talk to you later. You know what I mean? Well, hopefully everything is fine. But she kept going. So even though she felt like she could have pushed more, I noticed the persistency in throughout the conversation. So I thought that was nice.
Yeah. Chris, I want to echo what everyone is saying. First of all, I want to talk about the energy piece because when you're talking to a type S person and you are 2RS, right? And sometimes the pace is a little bit slower, but even though the pace was slower, your energy wasn't dragging. Because sometimes it could be like you don't want to be like, oh, hey girl, what you doing? So you matched her pace, but you still had some energy and were leading a conversation. So that was really good. And then I also want to say kudos for picking up the phone because sometimes, like, I don't know about y'all, you got somebody that ain't called or picked up in years, you won't call them, right? You'll just be like, forget it. Like, they must not be interested or whatever. Where, the economy has been raggedy for 5 years. Life has been life for people. They out here just trying to survive and drink their water. So, like, let's not act like everyone who isn't responding to us in the way we would want them to respond. We don't want to make presumptuous, assumptions that they just don't want to work with us. It just might not be the time, right? Because if somebody calls me for True Green Lawn Care every year, it might be year 4 before I'm actually like, you know what? Actually, my grass do look dusty. You've been calling me, following up. Yeah, come on over here and give me a quote. So just the fact that you are still following up and staying in front of those older people who haven't, transacted yet, that's good. I agree with Tempest. There was opportunity to really go in on the pregnancy, right? Because she's a type S. So like she want to do everything right. She's probably nesting. So I want to even pick it up like, oh my gosh, you're expecting? That is so exciting. And you mentioned that she has middle school kids, right? So I might say, now how are the big kids? Are they excited about being big brother and sister? Oh, and then I might have even said something like, girl, okay, I'm happy I called you because I know with that baby coming, y'all gonna outgrow that space soon. What do we need to do to get y'all into y'all's house, right? And so I'm even going like you did it because you asked the question. Oh, are you presented it as a question? I would encourage you in this scenario to present it as a thought. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Babies come with a lot of stuff. And I already know last time we talked, you said that apartment was getting tight. So we definitely have to get together so that I could share with you, all these incentives and stuff that's happening. And from there, she's, well, I'm not ready. I got a lot going on and blah, blah, blah. Girl, I completely understand. Like, I know you got a whole lot going on. And, I'm always here just to, keep you updated on what's happening. And I know the last time we talked, because you talked to him a couple years ago, the market was a little wonky. And right now it is way more favorable for buyers. And then you tell the story. You just negotiated $17,000 off of somebody, right? So I would say, as a matter of fact, I just had a buyer that I got under contract and we saved $17,000 off of the sale of the house. They came to closing with, very, very little out of pocket. And if that would have been 2 years ago, I know for a fact it would have been $50,000 more to get them closed. So I just want to make sure that, I know you got a lot going on, but as you are getting ready, that I'm keeping you up to date with what's happening because I already know that it's only going to take a little while for that baby to take over all y'all space. And I don't want you to be frustrated, mama. So presume like showing it, like we want to listen to what she's saying because she even told us, because I'm having another boy. So those are just sometimes some areas that we could have connected. And then rephrasing, like, tell me tell me something that you know a new mom needs, or something that might be helpful in your area to a new mama. Something very basic. You, Chris. Yeah, just give me a resource that might be helpful to somebody who's having a baby.
I don't know. You know,
I'm gonna
diapers
give
on sale. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
Diapers on sale.
I'm gonna give you one to come to mind for me. Like I might say to her, because if you know her, and I know this is your real lady ain't pregnant, but I might say, like if your real lady has middle schoolers and now she's pregnant again, I might say something along the lines like, and you know what, I need to call my friend Nancy, because I don't know if you're planning on nursing, but if you do, girl, it's so much easier than it was when our kids was babies. She has this portable nursing thing, and we'll legit be at lunch and she is pumping, but her hands are free. I don't know if you've seen that contraption, but I'm going to call my friend to get the link and send it to you. Right? It's not me saying, I'm going to bring you lunch and dinner and what's your meal train. I just want to find a way to connect with you and provide you some sort of value based on what you're saying. Right?
Mhm.
So it might be a meal prep service, it might be, my sister just had a baby and she did this. Are you going to have a shower? Please let me know. I would love to come, or send you, like whatever it is, but like don't ask her what you need. And people, well, my mom and dad, people were like, what you want? I'm like, what do I need? I don't know what I need. I need to breathe. But baby, I had some friends that would just show up with a meal or show up with some paper towel. Thank you, because I didn't even know what I needed. Or just text me. There was this lady who texted me like literally for the first 3 months. She would text me out the blue, just pray for you, just pray. Like she was like, I'm like, thank you, because I don't know what I need. So same thing in this type of scenario. And it doesn't have to, I want to make it clear because I don't want y'all to feel like, oh, I gotta tell her I'm gonna bring her a meal train. No, what do you know about babies and mamas? Right. Girl, when you had a baby, the Costco meals, they come in clutch. I use that on sports nights. The chicken tacos in particular are a hit around here. So that might be an easy thing for you to have on those nights when the baby, your husband, can be able to do that. Okay. Kia, I know you were about to come off mute. Did you have something to say?
No, I was just agreeing with what you were saying, but also thinking of that as, that opportunity to present her with some sort of resource or something. It's just another way to stay in contact with her and to kind of keep yourself top of mind with her, even if it's not about house related stuff. Like, oh, wow, that was really thoughtful. That's all.
Yeah. Because now when you follow up with her, right, you can follow up with a question about the resource, as opposed to, hey, it's Chris. Did you call the Linda yet? Girl, I told you I'm 19 months pregnant. I ain't think about that damn Linda. Right. Okay. Good job. All
I
right.
was also thinking about Rosemary, about like the due date, just grabbing that due date so that you have that follow-up time frame.
Yep, because she said I'm due soon, right? So yeah, so all of these little nuggets, we want to listen, because what happens is Chris is calling, and this is Chris's personality too. You are a type C. You like bam, bam, bam. Like even at our accelerator retreat, she was like, everybody key. She put on her shoes, telling the girls, we all ready to go. So she is about that business. So sometimes we just have to make sure we're listening so that we can respond to actually what's being said, as opposed to boom, 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 boom. I have this idea of how this conversation needs to go, where we need to let it flow and extract what we want, right? And that's how they experience you. So I love it. Okay, well, let's do another real quick one. But now we're going to do a new G besties. We had the OGs. Now we're doing a new G. Who's stepping up to the plate? See, you won't die. Did you die, Chris? Did you die, Tempest? Nobody died. Who wants to go for it?
I guess I can be the realtor, since I'm trying to work on getting leads and stuff.
Tanya,
Yes.
God bless you. I love it. Let me tell you what I love. Because you didn't pay your good $47 to be here. And your experience, Peter's experience out the boat is different from the disciples' experience in the boat. Even though he sank, we ain't gonna let you sink. Keep your eyes on the prize. But so yes, God bless. Okay, who wants to be? Okay, doctor.
I'll be the client.
Okay. Here is the follow-up. Okay, and y'all throw whatever personality. So Tanya, you are calling the good doctor because she came to the open house and filled out your information. She is actually a neighbor though, right? So she's a neighbor. She has her oldest or her youngest son is graduating in a month, and they are strongly considering downsizing and because nothing is tying them to the area. They thought that he would go to school because Dr. You in Florida, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so there's nothing keeping them in Florida. They're sick of the hurricanes and all that situation. So they're thinking about moving to California where they're from because there's nothing holding them. And he going to college across the country. He's never coming back. She kind of told you all this. And now you're following up with her after the open house to work on getting the listing appointment.
Okay.
Okay, all right, off.
Let's see.
Tell the realtor how to pronounce your name again since I keep jacking it up though.
Say Chandra, Tanya.
Okay, Chandra. All right.
Did y'all see how Chandra also pronounced Tanya right the first time? Showing me up.
I learned that in elementary because my teachers always messed up my name.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Tanya, you're gonna say ring ring, and then Chandra's gonna answer.
Okay, ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, Chandra.
Hey, Tanya, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great.
That's good. I'm just following up. I know we haven't spoken in a little bit. Just following back up with you regarding that open house that you came by the other day, you and your husband.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we spoke. I know that you said you live in the neighborhood. Have you thought any more about what you all wanted to do regarding the relocation, if you're going to stay or move?
So I'm all for moving. I'm trying to convince my husband. His holdback is one of his other friends is an agent, and he was comparing some information they gave us about our home value, which I'm not a realtor, but I don't think it's pretty accurate. So that's been his holdback because he feels like we could get more for the house and we could hold out a little bit.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can gladly give you do a comp on the recent sales in the neighborhood, and then also I can even reach out to some agents that recently sold in your area as well, just to get a little bit more feedback from them regarding the recent sales, and we can all talk together and see exactly where you are, because I mean, I know that you are looking to relocate, and you're wanting to, and the numbers just have to make sense, right?
Right. And do you know any agents in the California area that could help us with relocating?
Well, my broker we are a nationwide broker. So in a nutshell, I don't personally know, but I can do a referral to an agent in that California area. What area are you looking to move to?
I would say probably by Woodland Hills area.
Okay. Woodland Hills. And now your son, I know that's exciting as far as him graduating. Is he going to, how does he feel about you all moving?
He's okay. He's excited, but he's about to start his new phase and chapter of life. So, you know, those kids,
Okay.
they're excited to be finally grown.
Yeah, where's he going?
He's gonna stay in Florida and go to FAMU.
Okay. Okay. Great. Well, I mean, I know it's going to be a little distance, but that doesn't seem to be a factor. But as far as the comps in your area, I mean, I know that a lot of more homes are on the market. It's not going as fast as it was a few years ago, but they are selling. So it just depends on, the what the going, excuse me, what the comps are, what they're selling at, getting the feedback, and then we go from there. What's your availability? Because I'm gonna do some research tonight, and if you all are available tomorrow or even Friday, I'm available too. So what's your availability we can get together?
Okay, let's stop here. All righty, yay! Clap it up for the new G's, the new besties. Yay. Okay, let's talk about it. Tanya,
Yes.
tell me what did you do well?
Offering to do the comps in the area, and then even reaching out to some additional agents just to get their feedback on any recent sales and information that they can provide to assist with getting that comp.
And what would be your area of opportunity?
I got right into the open house and just started going like just trying to hit it right at the park instead of warming up to the conversation and then making it a little bit more conversational from upfront. I was like more business, like let's get to business.
Okay. 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 I have feedback about that, but I'm gonna wait. Chandra.
Feedback on myself.
Well, not yourself, like how, not what you said, but how, what your reaction would be as a consumer based on her responses to you. We want to give feedback to Tanya.
I think she did pretty good with listening to me. Like she didn't overtalk me. And she told me like her action, which she could give me the comparative market analysis. So I think that was good. The only part about the referral, I would say like most clients feel more comfortable when you mention like you have a trusted referral partner, even if you don't know them like really, really good, they'll feel comfortable. So that way you can get paid for, you're listing my home and the referral out the state.
Yep.
That was the only thing that I could think of.
Okay.
Okay.
Kia
Network.
says in the note in the chat, say you have a network. So you have a
Yeah.
network. Does anybody else have feedback to give?
Can the besties give feedback?
Oh,
The OG get okay. So I thought that Tanya did very well. I think that we become conscious about using the word comps because a lot of consumers don't know the real estate lingo that we know. So kind of breaking that down a little bit and maybe saying, sales in the area, the homes that are active, the homes that have closed and all of that. Also think that there was opportunity to talk more about her son, how she feel about being a first time college mama. Is her mama heart, ready for it and all of that? I think there was a lot of opportunity to kind of engage more with her. And as far as the sale versus the referral, I think that there was also opportunity in solidifying kind of what your place would be. Like I can definitely help you sell your home, but let me, reach out to my trusted referral in this part of the Woodland area so that we can be a better resource for you and you can make sure that you find a home that you're looking for in California and we can all be on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I echo all of that. Now, one thing that you said in the beginning where you thought that you might tweak is you said you went straight forward and about the open house. I actually liked that. And it may be because I have had some interaction with Chandra before. I would think, Chandra, do you think you're more a direct person?
Yes.
Okay. Her personality, and this is one of the things we really break down further, is her personality is more of a like, I don't need 37 minutes worth of pleasantries. Whereas the person who Tempest was previously probably was like that. And even the way she answered the phone, it was like, hey, what's up? It was kind of like, it wasn't like, hey, how you? Like when they sing their words or when they like, hey Tanya. It was like, hey Tanya. Like immediately you got like 3 seconds, especially, and you may have known her a little bit better because y'all conversed at open house. But when you're calling people, you got like a quick window of time to match what they're putting out there. So she put her pace was kind of fast, like, oh hey, how you doing? Automatically, I'm going to speed up and be like, hey girl, I'm just checking in with you because I know when we were at the open house on Saturday, like you took a look, and this is where role playing is weird because we just role played a scenario where it was a long stretch of time before they talked, and you kind of meshed a little bit of that with this, which is natural. Like no, role playing is for fake. But it was like, hey, I know when we met on Saturday, you mentioned you threw out the idea of y'all looking to relocate. I'm calling her with value. I wanted to check in with you to get the best email address for you. You wrote it down, but I want to make sure that I'm reading it correctly because as you're making that decision, I want to make sure I want to be able to send you over a market report to give you a good idea of what comparable homes are selling for as you and your husband just mull it over, right?
Okay.
I don't want her to tell every seller want to know about how much money they're gonna walk away with. So I'm
Mhm.
going to start that conversation immediately, getting her information, letting her know what I can do for her. Okay. And then I might backpedal and go into a little bit of, okay, so tell me what you're thinking. Like, that's probably me. Like, tell me what you're thinking. I know son is graduating. Where's he going to school? FAMU. Okay, Rattlers, right?
Mhm.
That's super cool. Are you from FAMU, Chandra? Did you graduate from FAMU? What year? I'm about to go off on a tangent. You got to find your mute and tell me what year you graduated. One of my best friends was from FAMU. But you know, like I might go into a little bit of that and then pick back up. Like you don't have to go a whole bunch, but enough that's establishing rapport. Because if husband looking at somebody else, 9 times out of 10, who make the real decisions? So I want to connect with her and get her talking, pick up what she's putting down so that I can feed it back out to her, right? The other thing that I would say, so I thought that your beginning was fine. I think you just got a little bit confused on scenario. So going right into, hey, I met you at the open house, because 9 times out of 10, this isn't a long nurture person like the first scenario. I just met you. I want to tell you who I was. I don't know if she went to 1 or 30 open houses. Let me explain to her who I am and whatever. I don't care what she thought about the house. I'm here to call you because you mentioned that y'all are tossing out the idea of selling. I have this resource. I want to know the best email address to send it to you, right? Then I'm going to get her address, all that stuff. 2 quick things that I want to point out is, number one, the way we've already said, the way when she asked you if you have somebody to refer. Okay. My conversation is going to be 2011. Oh, girl, you a baby. I don't know nobody. Are you? I'm gonna talk to you offline because actually one of my clients is a Delta, so maybe you know her. Okay. So you want to be like, even if you don't know anybody, like you right now today, somebody say to you, oh, I'm looking for an agent in such and such area. Okay, let me check with you. I have a whole group of real estate besties, right? Or one of the good things about working with me is that I work with the national brokerage. So we have solid agents all over. Tell me exactly the exact zip code and let me check my database so that I can pair you with the right person. Or I want to send you over 2 recommendations, right? We don't want to sound unsure because again, it's like if I say, hey, what's the best like I want to go for Mexican, I don't want you to be like, well, you could go to Papacitos, but I mean, I'm not gonna go to Papacitos because the way you answer that, right? When you ever been to a restaurant and you ask the waiter, does something good, and he like, well, I mean, a lot of people order it. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, was it good? So now I'm not ordering it. So like that. And then you almost talked yourself out of the appointment, friend. Did anyone hear how she almost talked herself out of the appointment? I look at Danila's face. Danila like, what's she do? Did anyone hear how she almost talked herself out of the appointment? You start telling me everything wrong with the market, and I didn't ask you that. The market is much harder. Homes are selling longer. And your pace was a little bit slower than hers. So you didn't handle you planted a seed that she might not even been thinking about yet. Right? So is that a conversation and an expectation that needs to be set? Yes. But I want to work on getting in front of you. Now, if she asks me, how's the market going? I would say, you know what? I'm just going to be honest. We have definitely stabilized a lot more. The market has gone through a correction. Let me ask you something real quick. How many years have you been in your house? And let's just say she said, if anybody says anything pre-pandemic, I'm like, okay, well, here's the good news. You won, because no matter what the market is doing, you are definitely in a very favorable, I would assume, equity position. I'd have to run the numbers, if you haven't refinanced or anything like that. So even, with the market moving a little slower, there is still a lot of opportunity for sellers and for you to get to your bottom line, right? But you don't want to talk yourself out of the appointment. I want to keep it on the up and up and lead her energy. Okay. And sometimes we got all this stuff in our head that we know we got to talk about, and we can accidentally plant a seed of doubt and wonder why the good doctor never called you back. Because she gonna call that other dude, her husband friend, and he gonna be like, girl, we in this thing. Let me send you these numbers. How much money y'all want to make? $100,000? Okay, I'm running numbers. Y'all probably can make 120, right? That's conservatively. If we listed conservatively, listed according to market, I see 120. If you're starting a conversation with, okay, the market moving slow, then she might move slow and I'll call you. Okay. Listen, wasn't that good? Shout out to the besties who were so persistent and like just did such a great job in each one of those scenarios. And one thing that I love about role playing is that, you know, a lot of times we are on the right track. You know exactly what to say, but it's how you're saying it and just different little tweaks that you can pick up that will totally change your ability to convert. So bestie, I hope that this was helpful for you. And remember, this invitation stands. We are open and ready for Bestie Bootcamp. Head on over to rosemarylewis.com/bootcamp. If you are in a place where you're like, you know what, I don't want to play the shoulda, coulda, woulda game. I am ready to up level my business, and I know that this bootcamp is exactly what I need to get where I want to go. I am welcoming you with open arms, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, bestie. If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.